What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kev here, back with another video. Tonight we're going over some NFL prize picks. Guys, sadly, this is the last NFL prize picks video that we will do this year. Obviously, it's the last game of the year. We're looking at the Super Bowl. Super excited about it. Not going to get too sad. Got to appreciate it while it's here. And then, but don't worry, we'll be getting right into, preseason stuff. And, I want to cover football all year long. And I know you guys want to do that too. So we'll do that. Don't worry. But this is the last game of the year officially. Guys, if you're new to the channel or new to prize picks, let me give you my quick little rundown like I like to do. So prize picks is essentially a daily fantasy sports platform where instead of picking the players, you actually pick the overs and unders on the point projections of players. So as you can see here, we're looking at Mahomes at 25.5. I can take the over or under on that, and I can pair that 2, 3, 4, or 5 times with that many players. So it's sort of like a parlay in that aspect. Obviously, the more risk you do, the more reward you get. I will say my favorite aspect, and I like it when I'm doing sports that aren't football or MMA because you guys know I don't love the those as much as football and MMA, though I do love basketball and starting to get some of those other areas as well. But you can pair them with those different sports. So when I go over to NBA, I'm looking at Luka at 53. I can take the over at 53 for Luka, switch over to NFL, pair that with the under for Mahomes at 25.5 or whatever I want to do. And I love the fact that they let you do that. So if you do sign up for prize picks, please use code DGF, standing for Daily Grind Fantasy, obviously. That really helps us and supports the channel. And we do see when you guys sign up, it shows us your name and all that stuff. So we do really appreciate the support. Also, I will let you guys know with the promo that we that they're running, that if you do use our code, you will get a match of 100% up to $100 for your first deposit. So I would say, why not do the full 100? I always tell you guys this. I don't get paid anymore to say that. I just want to get you guys as much money as possible. I do this every time Draftkings or FanDuel or any company like that runs a promotion. Why not get some free money? But that's enough of my spiel. Let's get into this for these NFL prize picks. So starting from the top, we're going to go Patrick Mahomes at 25.5. I am actually going to take the over, and I will tell you guys, this is an interesting one. There's a lot of factors I'm going to be going off of for this matchup. Some of those things are the regular season stats, the playoff stats, and then also these guys met up. These teams met up earlier in the year, and there was a lot of information to go off of those, so I will be using that. So I just want to give you that quick little tidbit before I get into it. But again, I'm going over for Patrick Mahomes at 25.5. I mean, he cleared 30 in their first matchup of the year in the regular season, as I just alluded to. The way to beat the Bucs, as we know, is through the air. They have great linebackers. They have a great front. They have some of the best pass rushing in football. So I definitely think the way to beat them is target those less than I don't want to say less than talented. Obviously, they still have a couple of good guys, but I mean the corners are the way to go for scoring on them, and especially where you have those two guys like a Tyreek and a Travis Kelce. Those guys are basically unguardable anyway. So I think that's makes it pretty easy for Mahomes to hit that over, and that is the way the Chiefs win games. They do it with Mahomes and they do it through the air. So I do like that. Tom Brady at 21. I will avoid Brady, to be honest, at 21. Brady is a winner. That is what he does. We all know this. But he does it in many different ways, aka slowing the clock, running the ball, running it in the red zone. He might drive him up 60, 70 yards in the air and then hand it off to a running back to score. I mean, Brady's not a selfish player. He just wants to win the game. So that's the one thing that makes me nervous. I mean, if the defense plays good, I mean, the Bucs defense is very good. You might find a situation where he doesn't have to air the ball out that much, I mean, he could too. I mean, they could find themselves down and have to air it out as well, as we know, especially against this Chiefs offense. But that being said, I mean, I don't want to take that risk, so I will avoid Brady at 21. You never know what you're going to get with him. Moving on to Tyreek Hill, also at 21. It's crazy that we're looking at, a wide receiver. It's the same projection as a quarterback, but that's just Tyreek Hill. Absolute freak. I don't want to take a stance on this one, especially like, you guys know I don't like wide receivers around this price. I mean, I don't take Devontae Adams at this price. I don't take Stephon Diggs at this price. But at 21 points, I feel like I have to, just because I just alluded to, the Bucs secondary is super suspect, and Tyreek is a matchup nightmare anyway. And when you can't stop him, you simply can't stop him. If you don't believe me, please reference the regular season game I talked about when these guys played. That is when Tyreek dropped 58 fantasy points on him. That was against the Bucs. So that is pretty terrifying, and for that reason alone, I think I'm going to have to take the over at 21. So something to think about. Moving on to Mike Evans, my favorite wide receiver in football. I will be avoiding my boy Mike Evans. I think I think he probably finds the end zone. I think it's more likely than not. I mean, it's just he's almost a lock. But that being said, I mean, it's still tough to get to. Sometimes he'll just find the end zone and do nothing else. He'll get that, he's a lock for a touchdown and literally nothing else. I will say, gun to my head, I would take the over. He scored 20 points against the Chiefs last time they played. So again, gun to my head, I will take the over, but I will probably end up avoiding for the most part. Looking at Travis Kelce at 22 points, I will take the over. This is a slight over, I will say. I will definitely still take the over for Kelce, but this is a weird one because, I mean, so you guys know how much I gas up Kelce and, you know, how consistent he is at, I was going to say at the tight end position, but just at any position. By any standards, Travis Kelce is elite and consistent at an elite level. So he's absolutely unreal, as you guys know. But out of his last 8 regular season games that he played, not counting these playoffs, obviously, he cleared this projection, this 22-point projection, 7 of those 8 games. What was the one game he didn't? The Bucs game. Kind of interesting. I would say a lot of that was due to what I talked about with Tyreek Hill stealing the show, you know, that day. And I think I wouldn't expect a repeat to that magnitude, obviously, for Hill. I think he's going to have a great day, but I don't think he's going to score 58 points and steal that many, you know, opportunities away from Kelce. Also, like I said, I mean, the Bucs, they have a good front seven. You know, that you beat them, you know, a little bit deeper down the field. So maybe Travis Kelce wasn't getting those opportunities. Maybe they were trying to use Travis Kelce to block a little bit more. I mean, again, they have one of the best run Ds in football too, so need a little more help up front. I would definitely consider Travis Kelce to go, I don't want to say a lock to go over, but like I said, it is slight, but I will take the over of 22 for Travis Kelce. Moving on, we have Godwin and AB. So Godwin and AB, this is interesting. I mean, AB was limited and his status is, you know, it's very important for this game moving forward, not just for himself, but for Godwin. So I will personally probably not have AB either way. Obviously, if he sits, I won't have him, but if he plays, I won't have him either. Godwin, I think, is more dependent on AB's play. If AB does play, I probably will avoid Godwin. If AB sits, I think that just locks Godwin into, you know, a lot more of those slot receiver roles. I mean, he's going to be the PPR guy, so I think you got to take him at 16 because even if this game, unless the Bucs completely blow him out early, Godwin's going to get his receptions. So I definitely like that opportunity for Godwin as long as AB sits, and if AB plays, it's going to be a tougher choice, and I might just avoid it. But again, he sits, Godwin's a lock to for the over, in my opinion. Hardman, I'm just going to avoid. I avoid Hardman basically all year. He's too inconsistent. I like that he gets rushes. I like that they mix him up. They use him pretty diversely in that offense. But that being said, it's just too inconsistent. Even at 7.5 points, I don't want to take someone of that low caliber. I mean, I like to know what I get. When I look at wide receivers in football, I usually take the PPR guys. It's something that's more consistent, something you can almost bank on. If you're getting 10 targets a game, I know what I'm going to get for the most part. Mecole Hardman isn't getting 10 targets a game. Hence why I like someone like Godwin, especially if AB sits. I want the PPR numbers. That's consistency. That's what makes you a consistent fantasy football player. So I will be avoiding that in Mecole Hardman 7.5. Moving on to a tight end situation, I'm just going to hop, skip, and jump over CEH, go from Gronk to Cameron Brate. Those two guys, I will say, I will be taking over for Brate at 7 points, and I will be avoiding Gronk. Brate is just playing so much better right now. He's getting so many more opportunities than Gronk, and he's been lights out these playoffs, and you can see Brady is starting to trust Brate more with that. I mean, he's had a couple times. I remember, I think it was the last game against the Packers, too. He hit Gronk pretty open. Gronk dropped it, and it was like, all right, I mean, I don't care if you're Gronk and it's Brady and Brady loves you. He's not going to keep giving you looks like that. I mean, that's not what Brady does. He's going to go to the hot hand. He's going to go to, you know, who he can trust. And Cameron Brate has been fairly trustworthy, finding the end zone. Good PPR guy right now, and especially at the tight end position. So I will take the over of Brate at 7 and avoid Gronk. That's just how I think this one's going to go. For the RB situation, this is interesting. This is actually out of, you know, Williams, Fournette, Ronald Jones, and CEH, as I talked about earlier. I am honestly just going to take one RB here. There's one I actually like, and that's Leonard Fournette at the highest projection. There is a reason he has the highest projection. He has been so consistent in these playoffs. We're finally seeing PPR Fournette. This is a guy I talked about. I tell you guys all the time. Last year, like not this previous season, but the season before, he had the second most receptions at the position to only CMC. He had a ridiculous amount of receptions. This is how Leonard Fournette makes his money. So we're finally seeing him get back to true form and catch balls. Tom Brady trusts him. You know, that offense trusts him. So I definitely think this is a position where Leonard Fournette can shine. I think he kind of took that role completely away from Ronald Jones. And I'm just not going to touch any of those other guys, especially like I just said, why I don't like Ronald Jones, but CEH and Williams. One of these guys will go over, one will go under probably. I mean, one of them will be the guy, maybe find the end zone. Good luck picking which one. And against a Bucs, probably the best run D in football, in my opinion, it's not even a lock that they're going to have a good game if they are the guy. So I would probably avoid both of them and just focus on Fournette. So next up, guys, to be honest, all we got is kickers and defense, and you guys know how much I hate picking kickers and defense. So we're just going to avoid the whole situation altogether, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown on my thoughts on the players I just told you about. So Leonard Fournette, I will take the over. I'm going to avoid the other running backs in that situation. Cameron Brate, I will take the over of 7. I like that. Gronk, I'm going to avoid at 6, which is sad for me to say as a longtime New England and Gronk fan, but I like Cameron Brate. I like the way he's playing right now. Hardman, I will avoid. AB, I will avoid. Godwin, monitor AB's health. The more I talk myself into it, I'm almost thinking take Godwin either way, but I would really like to see AB sit to take him confidently. I don't want AB to sit, obviously, but if he does, I'd be a lot more confident in taking Chris Godwin. Travis Kelce, I will take the slight over of 22. Mike Evans, I will avoid, but gun to my head, I would still probably go over. Tyreek Hill, I will be taking the over at 21. Tom Brady, I will avoid. Too many scenarios where he doesn't score that. Patrick Mahomes, I think I like the over a lot at 25.5 because most scenarios end up with him hitting that over. So those are my prize picks for the Super Bowl, guys. Last NFL ones of the year. I will have some more NBA ones coming out, momentarily. You guys know I kick them out basically every single day. MMA coming up, so tons of sports. Like I say every single time, tune in for TJ and Matt. They kick out those videos every single night for NBA. They do awesome live before locks as well. So we got a lot of content coming up. And again, I think we're all super excited for the Super Bowl. So if you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. And as always, guys, let's cash.